Hi everybody. So we're fiddling around with the fuel system. There's the valve. I'm replacing one of the elbows off of it. So I put the 90-degree elbow in the front. That way the downward part of the fuel line could go directly into the filter, into the pumps. But unfortunately, I need that elbow to swivel. So I'm putting the straight fitting back on, and then I'm just going to put a 90-degree swiveling elbow on it. And that's that. In the last video, we were working on a rotisserie. I don't have anyone to really help me finish that off yet. I didn't have the hardware to do it, so we're just taking a little bit of a break and working on this. And as you can see, having to climb over the edge of this damn thing to work on stuff, God, what a pain in the ass. Total pain. Cannot wait until this rotisserie is working. So I've got the fuel. There's the fuel selector in place. Now the problem is the way that I mounted the pumps and the filter before, and there they are with the filter on top. I don't actually have enough room to make the connection between the fuel selector and the filter, unfortunately. Which is fine. So what I did, and this is what I'm discovering right now, is so I actually take an extra piece of line and I try to do a single bend using the clocked elbow in the front of the selector to make just one simple bend to plug it in. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit. There's not enough room to do the piece. Why, you ask? Well, simple. Whenever you're bending these fuel lines, right, and you have to flare the edge of the lines, you need to have a minimum of 1¼ inches between the flaring end and the first bend, right? Because you've got to be able to put the sleeve on. Now, the end cap can just float around the it can just float around. It doesn't really get held on very tight, but the sleeve is held on very tightly, right? And it's very snug, and it can only be on a completely flat area. So you have to have 1¼ inches. Great. Well, the problem is I don't have that much room. So instead, what we're going to wind up doing is taking this off, and I have to reposition the filter. Basically, what I had to do, and you're going to see me working on the new line here in a second, is move the filter forward about 2 inches. And just like the piece that we'd made before, I have to make a piece that goes from the front of the filter backwards into the actual pump. Not a big deal. I'd done it before, and I already know all the pitfalls, and you'd seen the mound of wasted fuel aluminum tubing that I'd used to make it. But this time works perfectly fine. So what you see me doing there real quickly is putting in a new nut plate at the far end of the bracket. There you can kind of see the new position of the fuel filter. Before it was basically right in the middle, right? But now it's all the way at the front. And I've gained about 3 inches of clearance from an extra 3 inches of clearance between the fuel selector and that filter. And with that done, plenty of room to put a piece of fuel line. And of course, I forget to reposition the camera. So yeah, once that's in place, now what I was just working on there was the small piece between the fuel selector and the filter. Of course, I don't bother taking the camera back to show it to you, but it does fit. I'm just going to admit right now that I got lucky with it, and I'm just going to take it and run. If I have to reproduce that piece, I hope it doesn't get cracked in half, because I'm just going to take it apart. Total mess. You can see the two pieces there on my little foam seat. So the pumps are in the right place. They're underneath that protective cover there. Now I'm tightening them all down so that they fit. And there you can see that's the line that connects the fuel selector to the thing. So anyway, in the next video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to make the line between the fuel pump and the firewall, which turns out to be a fiasco. And I'll tell you all about it in the next one. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.